The devil reduces human stature through the constant whispers of smallness. The image of smallness creates the shape of smallness, and the shape of smallness creates physicality and geography. In the spiritual dimensions, the shape is physical. The divine human, who ought to be larger than the cosmos in size, is reduced to a shape of a small circular dark speck in dimensional spacetime and a function of powerlessness. That is, powerlessness is functional, a function of itself. When one excuses for a moment the diminished power of the physical body, a bit of intellect from the brain, small maneuvers within the third dimension, which is hardly anything, what remains is powerlessness, and powerlessness demands a shape of the thing that is powerless. In the dimensional world, we take on the shape of the thing we are. To be a shape of a thing that we are not must contain the intention of deceit. My point is obvious: our true version is power. The ironic thing about power is that the entrance into union with God requires need. Our entrance into the being of Jesus, because He is our entrance and life, is in our broken state a direct effect of our need and our feeling of need. The feeling of need must have a cognitive place. Now one may assume that love, particularly the romantic love of the heart, is adequate for the task of entrance, but for whatever reason, need and its desperation stand at the forefront here. A small thing which can do a great thing. Fortunately, here I am free from not having to convince anyone of anything, and I am bound by demand not to convince anyone of anything, because convincing trespasses on their will, and abuse the freedom of ignorance. At first glance, when we take need to the full length of its equation, it arrives at powerlessness, because need implies a lacking, an inability to solve it. However, even beings in heaven with great power, including humans with great power, are nonetheless subject to their Creator, for existence itself, for life, because the force of life comes from God alone. So at every moment of our power we are absolutely dependent on God. It is a mistake to reduce ourselves before God in order to trade with need. It is better to stand in our stature of strength and power while trading with need. A woman may be in full, but she needs a man to produce. A man may be in full, but he needs a woman to produce. Now something stands in the center of the love affair of the groom and bride in the Book of Song of Solomon. At some point the groom knocks on her door. She does not answer, he leaves. Then she searches for him in desire, in need and want, in desperation. So we have the need right there, and its desperation. The point or lesson is that our groom has the same behavior in our individual lives. He knocks, he will leave, he needs you to look for him in need. It will happen, it has happened, it is happening now. It is the physics of the thing, and there is no way around it. Theology may explain, but it has no power to instigate the cosmic physics of the seeking bride and the hidden groom. One of our greatest agencies is the desperation of need. On another note, as I am climbing the summit of understanding of things, I have viewed the lowest valley. I mean here that I have seen my biggest mistake in life. I suppose there were many mistakes that submitted me to misery or slavery, but one is outstanding. It was and is an error in the way I thought. It has to do with my brain, or really the mind of my brain. There must be a place in the mind where there are no faces of others. I had let them all in, passively assuming that this was a normal way of thinking. There must be a place in the mind where there is only my face, no one else, no opinions of others, no templates of their images, their demands, no imaginary dialogue with people in our minds day and night. Indeed, a space for one. If other people, really ideas of other people, have moved into our private space, we will merge with them. We will be a conglomerate creature, or self, continually talking to them, defending ourselves, our shame or our pride, to them. When we do this, we lose the power of our singularity, our oneness which can pierce existence and yield prosperity and power. It is not only the place of the singularity of self, it is by the nature of isolation and sanctity, the singularity of cosmic spacetime, if you would, because how can we create a path in life, our wealth, our dominion, without touching reality through the isolation of singleness? From the Bible, let your eye be single so that the whole being will be full.